Good morning and welcome back, everybody. We're going to talk about the trade we took today on Newmont, NEM. This is a gold mining company. So, look at the daily chart. We're seeing that's gapping up above yesterday's close and highs, but it's not quite clearing this pivot here. So it's a slight concern there. So we're going to mark it, and then we're going to go back and see where our last pivot above that was. And I'm seeing it right around the 66.80 area. And nothing too crazy going far back before that line. So we're going to draw another green line there to show that that's where we're going to take it at max if it allows in its range. And somewhere we're going to get above beforehand is the 65.50 area. So we take a look at the SPY and see what the market's doing, and we see that the market is actually gapping down. So that gives us a notion that NEM is off to a good start with some relative strength, gapping up while the market is gapping down. No surprise, since gold usually does pretty well when the rest of the market is doing poorly. People like to invest in gold when times are tough because it's safe. I'm going to drill down to the 1 minute time frame. Actually, I'm going to drill down to 2 because I use the 2 more than anything. So we're seeing that area of resistance was actually the same in the pre-market. Pre-market, it went up to the 65.50 area and sold off again into the open. So what I'm going to do more often now is go into the scoring system that I like to use in order to take trades. So first off, when we look daily, we're going to take this thing long if we see an opening, and that's going with the trend. Obviously, recently this is an uptrend. So going with that trend, I'm going to give this automatically 1 point if I'm taking it long. So it gets that point already. Next up, I want the prices to kind of rest back to the moving averages, not being too extended from the moving averages before I take it. So where I took this trade, let's actually open up my orders so we can see it a little better. So we're seeing that I'm taking it right as the break of this top here, and it's rested back to the moving averages, pretty much converging into this area. So that gets another point. Next up is taking into account the average trading range that this stock does in a day. So popping back to the daily, actually, let's take a look at my other chart. My daily chart tells me that the average trading range for the stock is about $1.80. $1.80. So seeing where it's moved today, it went as low as 64.63 before I took it, which is the low here. So $1.80 above that is somewhere around 66.40 is where I'd want to take it. We're seeing more than enough room to get to that area, and our target is before that as well. So I'm going to give it another point there. So that's already 3 points, and I take anything 4 points and above. Next up thing we're going to evaluate is this trade trapping any sellers? And I can say that yes, it is, because of the opening for about what is this, 12 minutes straight. Sellers were here taking the price downward. Lots of sellers all the way throughout here, and then it's going to start trapping people. We're seeing that if it breaks above here and higher, all these sellers here that try to sold off in the morning are going to be trapped. So I'm going to give it another point. That scores as a 4. And now I'm going to compare it to see it has a relative strength to the market. Now, as we saw already, that the SPY was trading down, but I'm going to see exactly at this point in time what I want the breakout to be. What is the SPY doing compared to this stock? So this is 10.06 to 10.08. What is the SPY doing? All right, so here's the SPY. 10.06 is right here. And we're seeing that 10.06, 10.05, the SPY is consolidating at lows. So put it in a low here, and now it's consolidating upward, but it's nowhere near the same look as what NEM is doing. NEM is not in a downward trend. It is an upward consolidating pattern, and I like that a lot better. So that is another point. So it scores it as a 5. Now what comes the tricky part is scoring the gap. So I was talking to a friend earlier, and he says that I might have actually scored this incorrectly, and it probably was a better trade than I thought it was. But what I saw is that it is gapping from already a couple bullish candles up into a resistance area that's shown to be troublesome for this stock because it was rejected at that price even at pre-market, which makes me think this could be an area, because I'm taking a trade that's before it's breaking out of this area, so it might be trouble as sellers are sitting here waiting to sell into me. Could be dropping the price down, but what he's saying is that there's two high days here, pretty much at the 64.80, 64.75 area that I'm actually bouncing off of intraday. So I'm pretty much bouncing off the 64.70-ish area here, and that by testing this area and buyers coming back in, this trade is actually much stronger than I initially thought, because I gave it a -1 point for the gap, because even though it was gapping up, it was gapping from a bullish candle into an area of resistance, and I'm taking that trade before it breaks that area. So by doing that, I gave myself a -1, so I took the score from a 5 down to a 4, which still means I can take it. It just means that the trade is less likely to work according to my statistics. But he's saying that because it bounced off of this area that was trouble for 2 days of this week already, that this stock is actually stronger because of it, and I should have actually scored it a 6, making it a much better trade, and I could possibly even take it to a higher target because of that. Obviously it worked out, but I didn't know that beforehand, and I might have scored it incorrectly. But regardless, at the end of the day, I gave it a 4. I did take the trade, and it worked out to our management, 2.5, so we bagged a cool, 125 here for this trade. So that's the breakdown of the trade we took today on NEM. Comment down below, let me know what you guys took. If you like what you saw here, like, subscribe. Thanks.